In tonight's headlines, China lifts punitive tariffs on Australian wine, marking a major improvement of relations between the once bitter trade partners. Environmental officials remain coy after district councillors demand the waste charging scheme be pushed back further. And 2 more deaths are reported in Japan after taking a health supplement which is supposed to lower cholesterol levels.
In a major thaw of trade relations, China will lift its punitive tariffs on imported Australian wine from tomorrow. The Ministry of Commerce said in a statement that, in view of the changes in the relevant wine market conditions in China, it is no longer necessary to impose anti-dumping duties and countervailing duties on imported wines originating in Australia. Canberra welcomed Beijing's announcement and will withdraw its legal proceedings at the World Trade Organization. The decision came 2 days before the end of a 5-month review period agreed on by Canberra and Beijing. Previously, Australian wine exports to China were subject to duties as high as 218%. China used to be Australia's largest overseas market, buying more than $1 billion Australian dollars of liquor each year. The duties were imposed in March 2021, and Australian wine exports to China were down 97% that year. The trade war began after then Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison called for an international probe into the origins of COVID-19. The curbs on other Australian commodities have been withdrawn earlier. China now accounts for about 90% of Australia's barley exports after tariffs were lifted in August. Bess Leung, Cable News.
While the waste charging scheme takes effect citywide from August, 14 sites, including government offices and elderly homes, have been earmarked for a trial run starting next Monday. But even that worried Sham Shui Po district councillors, who grilled officials at a meeting this morning. Under the trial scheme, tenants in buildings not looked after by owners' corporations, residents' organizations, or a commercial property management firm would receive 20 free designated bags per month over 6 months. But Councillor Lee Wing-man pointed out there are at least 100 tenement buildings in Sham Shui Po with owners' corporations, except they are essentially defunct. He explained that the corporations were set up long ago, and most of the landlords are too old to conduct business. They are no different than 3 new buildings, or even worse than them in terms of receiving support, he said. Lee questioned if authorities could extend the scheme to these derelict residential blocks. Senior Environmental Protection Officer Sally Lee said it would be difficult to identify buildings which have defunct owners' corporations. She suggested residents purchase designated rubbish bags in bulk and distribute them among themselves. Council Vice Chairman Chen Wai-ming wanted to know if the government would consider pushing back the August 1st implementation date again, like it had twice done so previously. Lee sidestepped the question, but hoped the government can be given a chance to embark on a trial run first and review the situation before the scheme comes into effect across Hong Kong. Chief Secretary Eric Chen was also asked the same question in Hainan, where he had attended the Boao Forum for Asia in the past few days. He said the trial scheme would allow the administration to identify potential problems, adding a final decision will be made after reviewing the feedback from stakeholders. Janice Low, Cable News.
The fate of Christian Junction College has been hanging in the balance after it was revealed in January that co-founders Jacob Lam and Elman Chan had allegedly embezzled donations and fled overseas. The pair plus other directors of the school are now wanted by police. The institution on Lantau Island currently enrolls about 20 students, including 7 who are about to take public exams. The students are taught a special curriculum to help them rehabilitate from drug addiction and other problems. With its funds running dry, the Security Bureau's Narcotics Division has stepped in by injecting over $1 million into the college's bank account. A spokesman said the emergency grant will ensure the school can continue operating normally. He also condemned what he called the ugly and selfish acts of the wanted persons, saying they have squandered the goodwill of donors. We urge them to return to Hong Kong and make amends, the spokesman added. Two more people have died after taking a health supplement in Japan, bringing the death toll to 4. More than 100 others are hospitalized with kidney problems after ingesting the supplement containing benikoji, a type of rice fermented with red yeast. The supplement, produced by Kobayashi Pharmaceutical and is available over the counter, claims to help lower cholesterol. Benikoji, a red species of mold, is suspected to have caused the illness. Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi said the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare would deliberate with experts and come up with a response plan. He pledged to provide details as soon as possible. The Osaka-based pharmaceutical giant apologized and is now investigating the cause of the problem. It has asked consumers to stop taking their products. Other than the Kobayashi supplement, more than 40 other products on the market also contain benikoji, including miso paste, crackers, and vinegar dressing. They have been gradually pulled from store shelves since last week. All recalled products were manufactured in Japan, but it remains to be seen if they were produced with any imported ingredients. This marked the first time a domestically produced supplement has been recalled, according to Japanese media. Janice Yu, Cable News.
The Hong Kong property market had a mixed performance in 2023. According to preliminary findings by the Rating and Valuation Department, 13,850 private homes were completed last year, a 35% drop year-on-year. Vacant units at the end of the year dropped slightly to 4.1% of total stock, down 0.3 of a percentage point from a year ago and representing a 4-month low. Around 22,300 and 25,500 units were expected to be built this year and 2025. The supply will mostly come from projects in Kowloon and the New Territories. Dragged by tightened monetary conditions, an uncertain external economic outlook, and weak local demand, home prices fell 7% in 2023. The number of transactions also fell by 5%. In contrast, the rental market has been vibrant due to an influx of professionals entering Hong Kong via different talent admission schemes. Domestic rents recorded a year-on-year growth of 6% by the end of December. Cathay Pacific was forced to cancel hundreds of flights earlier this year due to a shortage of pilots. That was a massive blow to Hong Kong's flag carrier, which used to be known for its reliable service. But Chief Executive Ronald Lam insists the manpower shortage is a temporary issue instead of a structural problem within the aviation industry. He said the airline plans to hire 5,000 staff this year, boosting the headcount to 29,000 by the end of the year.
And we're turning on the recruitment and training machine. To grow by 5,000 in 1 year is unprecedented in our history. So we have a gigantic task to do. But I think now we are 3 months into the year. We have been making good progress. We have a lot of Hong Kong employees, increasingly more Chinese mainland employees, and we'll keep a good portion of our international background employees.